Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, Boost Inquiries and Applications with Effective Digital Ads. I'm Jackie Weissar. I'm the Senior Director of Client Success. That means I run our service delivery team, so the team that executes on everything in the client contract. And I've been at Capture for about 10 years now, and I'll turn it over to Chase.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Chase Davis, and I am the Director of Client Strategy at Capture Higher Ed. I've been at Capture now for just over 3 years, and I work with our team of enrollment advisors, setting strategy for each of our partnerships and our partners to ensure that we are executing on meeting all the goals for our campus strategies.
Awesome. Thanks, Chase. All right, let's start with a company overview in case you're new to learning about Capture. So at Capture, we're all about connections. So we work really hard to help our partners, which are colleges and universities across the United States, make personalized, data-driven, timely, and measured connections with prospective students and donors. We do this through our best-in-class marketing solutions, delivered by our team of experts. And then, of course, we have all of the data and all of our analysis work in one place in our behavioral intelligence platform. And that's what powers everything that we do. All right, so the agenda for today, I'm going to start by going over 3 keys to digital success when it comes to inquiry and app gen campaigns. And then I'm going to turn it over to Chase to see it in action. So he's created a strategy over the past year for one of our partners to help them get the apps and inquiries they want. And we've seen a lot of success. So he's going to go over that with you. And then at the end, we'll do a recap and we'll be sure to share contact information with you at the end in case you have any questions about our webinar today. All right, so I'm going to go over the 3 keys to digital success with you. The first one I want to go over is the importance of taking a multi-channel approach. So that means not just using one channel like email or one channel like Google to get your messages out. It's really important to ensure that we're meeting students and parents or decision makers where they are, no matter what the social avenue. So for example, Facebook is not dead. It's just its use has transformed, who is on the platform has transformed, and the generations using it has transformed. So how can we talk to the people who are using it now? Another example is TikTok. We all know it has a bit of an uncertain future, but right now it's relevant. A lot of our prospective students are on it. So we need to meet them where they're at to make an impact. The Google network is another perfect example, reaching and estimating 90% of internet users and over 2 million websites. So we need to make sure that we're taking a very layered approach and that we have a strategist like Chase who comes in and figures out how that all goes together to meet your goals. All right, my favorite thing to talk about is content. So we believe in relevant content within the ad, related to the ad, and stemming from the ad. So that means several things. So first of all, the call to action needs to be relevant for the target audience. We don't want to waste our resources and time telling people who have already applied to apply for admission. So it's really important, for example, that we try to exclude those people from our campaigns. Something else that really is important when it comes to content is your landing page. So for example, when we create search and display campaigns in Google, we generate keywords at the beginning that we put into the content of the ads, but we also put those keywords on the landing pages whenever we can. It really needs to work together as a seamless process. And of course, we want to make sure our messaging aligns with the audience and the voice of the institution, and that it's consistent in our multi-channel approach. So if you see a Google ad for an institution, and then you also see a Meta ad, the brand should work together, and it should be clear that both of those come from the same institution. It's really important. All right, and then the last key is having one platform. So once we have this relevant content and the creative, we need to launch our layered campaigns in one place where we have clear access to all the metrics, performance, and engagement data. And that's important because something we do at Capture is we don't set a campaign and forget it. we are continuously monitoring that campaign throughout the course of its life cycle. So every week, our experts are looking at campaign performance and looking at engagement and looking at conversions. And we're able to make optimizations using our platform. And we're also able to record them there for you in our optimization log so that it's very transparent whenever we make an update to your campaigns. So for us, the behavioral intelligence platform is really that centralized location where we can look at all the performance data. With digital advertising, we look at things like impressions, clicks, identified clicks, and the click-through rate, and those all live live in our platform. It's really critical. Another thing I wanted to mention with our platform is that it provides a foundation for audience and list targeting thanks to our predictive apply model. So we are able to use that model to see the people who are most likely to inquire and the people that are most likely to apply so that we can spend our resources and target our campaigns to those who are most likely to take the specific action. We also use our search model to identify the best zip codes to target. Again, it's all about specific targeting and then meeting them with relevant content. All right, so that's the background. That's the thought process that goes into these campaigns. But Chase is a strategist who actually puts this into action. So I'm going to turn it over to him now to show you how this actually works in action.
Yeah, thanks, Jackie. So what we're going to talk about here is working with one of our valued partners, which all of our partners are valued, but we focus very strategically on inquiry generation for this partner. And the audience here was for parents. So we know that parents are very heavily involved in the college going decision process. And so we want to ensure that we're also speaking and talking to them. So if this is not something that you're doing on your campuses and in your recruitment strategies, we highly recommend this, that we know that this is a key decision maker and they're also very influential. Not only parents, but guardians and anybody else who is in that position to actually influence somebody who's in high school or considering going to college or making that next step. So we have deployed a campaign that runs about 8 or 9 months for this particular partner, and it included this layered multi-channel strategy. So as you can see here, what we're representing and illustrating is a few different channels. We're focusing on our Google search campaigns, our Google display campaigns, and Meta. So we talked about Facebook and Meta and the platform not being dead. This is key. It has just transformed over the years from its early makings in the early 2000s to now we have a lot more people on this platform using it for different things. So while we may not be able to talk to your 16, 17, and 18-year-olds, we're able to talk to their parents and anybody else who may be influential in that decision-making process. So we are covering 3 different channels of display ads and also search ads. But not only that, this is layered. You can see that we're targeting and using content that's talking to sophomore parents or potential parents of sophomores, and also seniors and juniors throughout the entire year. We know that that audience might see multiple ads, but we are also going to craft that content within the ad and the things that they are searching for in search ads to ensure that it aligns with relevant things that a parent of a sophomore may be looking for, visiting a campus, what type of programs you're looking for, and then also for seniors, college admissions, financial aid, scholarships. What are the deadlines? So we are layering that approach across multiple different channels. So this is where we start with the timeline. And this was the key strategy here in terms of how do we run the channels and who do our audiences need to be. So if we'll go on to the next stage here, we talked a little bit about relevant content, but we're also going to want to make sure that that content is actually targeting the correct audience. For this particular 8 or 9 month long campaign, we are looking at parents or folks, guardians, or anybody else who is in an age range who is likely to have a child or be the guardian of a child who's maybe 15, 16, or 17 years old, or potentially high school counselors, guidance counselors that are also in a similar age range who might be able to influence that particular student. So we are going to target specific ages, but not only that, geographic areas that are important for this particular partner and their key areas of target. And then lastly, we're going to check out our interest segments. We're going to make sure that those align with not only the mission of the institution, but programs that they offer. Jackie was talking about ensuring that the content of the ads matches the call to action and also whatever your targeting measures are. So with this, we want to make sure that we use targeting measures that are relevant to the programs the campus offers. If they don't offer engineering, we're not going to try to target students or parents who are interested in engineering. So we make sure we do that in all of our keywords in all of our particular audience segments. And then lastly, we talked about those keywords for seniors. We might be targeting college admissions. We might be targeting financial aid. Those are very relevant at that last stage of high school. But for our sophomores and our parents of juniors, we might be looking at entrance exams, keywords related to the SAT, the ACT, programmatics, careers, those kind of things. And then lastly, we want to ensure that when they click that ad, that they go to a landing page that's tailored for that particular audience. We want to make sure that there's an opportunity for them to ask or request for more information, but also content there that's relevant to the parent, the guardian, or somebody who has that influence on a student's college going decision. So what do these ads look like? These are examples here. You can see some of the different content that we've deployed. We've got a couple of different options that show financial aid. We've got the nationally ranked Christian University message. This is all very relevant for a parent of a high school student. We also have, for this particular institution, we want to make sure that we're mission focused. So we're talking about the faith-forward Christian education. And we're also not shy in this content about saying your student, because we want them to know that we are talking to them as the parent or the guardian to ensure that they know that we are an institution that's here not only for their student, but also for the parent to help them through this journey too. And then we're going to lead them with that click to learn more to a page that actually is relevant to them. So how did this particular inquiry generation campaign actually perform? So when we looked at it, we went over the eight to 9 months, we saw that the clicks on these ads actually converted to nearly 500 form completions on the landing page that we had for this particular ad campaign. 97% of those people who completed that form were actually first point of contact submissions, meaning they were not already in that pool for the institution. And from there, yes, we generated almost 500 different inquiries with this ad campaign. 44 of them started their applications. So this is from parent submissions. They went on, they submitted their information along with their students' information, and then they proceeded after that inquiry to make an application. The student went on to apply. This is a wild success for this institution and this partner, and we want to make sure that we bring attention to this because a parent strategy is extremely important for each institution to have, because it can lead to 44 more applications. Now we're going to transition over into our student apply campaign. So we talked about earlier about having a multi-channel layered approach. And we believe that not only in your digital advertising, but we also believe that across all of your recruitment strategies. So if you're sending emails or you're having visitors to campus or open house, we want to make sure that you're hitting people in different channels. And we believe the same thing within our advertisements. So now we're going to start talking to students, not only their parents in the inquiry phase, but now in the application phase, we're going to focus on that student. In this particular illustration, you can see that we're talking to them through display and through search. And not only that, we throw in a retargeting ad, which means that when they come to the website, we're also going to target them with display ads when they leave the website, because we know that the first time to your website from a digital ad may not yield an application. But we want to be front and center with that particular student as they continue to progress along in their web browsing. And so we'll talk to them in different channels throughout that time. So what does the audience look like? I talked a little bit about the retargeting. We're going to make sure that we focus on admissions pages and relevant URLs on your.edu. And for this particular partner, admissions and scholarship pages that we know students are interested in, that when they come to that page, we'll also retarget them with a display ad when they leave. So we ensure that we are talking to that audience. But not only that, this is where you get to see the power of having one platform managing this that also has some predictive abilities. Our apply model allows us to select students specifically for list-based targeting to ensure that we talk to the ones who are most likely to make application. This is a service that Capture offers, where we go in and we score all of your students for the most likely to submit an application. That allows us to be extremely targeted in our digital advertising and many of our other services that we offer. Not only that, we will use our search services or our search model to identify the best zip codes to target our ads as well, to ensure that we are targeting and spending the spend appropriately to focus on the most likely to make application and ultimately that they'll enroll at your institution. But we're also going broad in this strategy. We're including not only age ranges for potentially students, but parents, because we want them to hear the same message. They also need to know that it's time to apply and that there's those opportunities. And lastly, we ensure that each of these digital advertising campaigns includes a landing page that has application information or maybe even admissions requirements. We don't want to send them directly to a specific start your application page. We want to send them to a page that explains the process and allows them the different links and the access to the different places that they may need to go. It provides a little bit more background. Students need that ability to understand a little more about the application. So let's give it to them in the landing page. So what does this campaign look like? What does the creative look like? Here you can see in these examples that we are now talking about things that are very relevant for a student. Yes, affordability. Students are interested in that, as are their families and those who are responsible for the college going decision. They're interested in that affordability, but we're also talking about future impact. How does that student shape the future? This is important, not only for the institution, but for each of the students that they're recruiting. We talk about mission, we talk about community, and not only that, we want to make sure that they know that there's still time to apply. Depending on when this campaign ran, we want to ensure that they know you can still submit an application or that it's time to go ahead and do that. So we have moved our messaging to ensure that we're talking about relevant messages for the student. So how did this actually perform? All right. Of the students that we identified, there were 263 students who engaged with our digital advertising. 61% of those clickers became applicants or they progressed through the funnel. You can see the breakdown here. There were 161 applicants, 124 of them were admitted by the institution, and ultimately 73 deposits and 70 students who enrolled for this class engaged with our digital advertising campaign, or student apply digital advertising campaign. This is also a tremendous success. We can see the layered approach from before with their parents, where 44 students and parents submitted applications. And then this campaign also continued that success by ensuring that we had more applications, with 161 applications coming from these strategies.
Thank you, Chase. It's awesome to see those keys in action. So let's go ahead and recap before we go today. So number one, when you're thinking about digital advertising for inquiry and app generation, you really need to take a unique multi-layered approach. You need to meet your audience where they are at the right time using the right channel and segments. Also, so important to select messaging very carefully. And messaging isn't just about the content you see on the ad, it's also about the call to action and the landing pages that work seamlessly together to deliver an experience for that prospective student. It's also important to manage your campaigns and your analytics in one place. That way you can turn data into meaningful action. And that's what we do at Capture through our behavioral intelligence platform every day. That concludes our presentation. If you have questions, we put our email addresses here and we'd love to hear from you. So feel free to reach out to us if there's anything you'd like to discuss. Thanks.
Thank you.